Welcome to the Infinite Waves podcast. With me today, I have Shannon from Neo Financial and talking about disrupting financial services. Let's get into it. This is the Infinite Waves podcast, where innovation meets imagination. From trailblazing technologies to inspiring stories of leadership, we're charting a course towards the future filled with limitless possibilities. Together with Creative Innovations Lab, let's explore AI and future technology. Thank you for joining Infinite Waves podcast. In our last episode, we had Grant Laring from Good Lawyer, who was disrupting the legal services industry. And today we have Shannon from Neo Financial, who's leading the customer experience center there. And she's on a mission to disrupt the financial services market. Shannon, welcome to the Infinite Waves podcast.
Thanks, Russell, for having me.
Wonderful. So Shannon, if I take a step back, Neo Financial is in the FinServ or financial services industry. If I take a step back, there are, if I'm not mistaken, there are 5 big players in this industry. And Neo is quite new, but within a very short span, Neo has achieved so much. Mm-hmm. What is the secret? Like, how did Neo gain this trust from the people?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think I'd answer that a few different ways. I don't think there's one thing, but the combination of things. I think, first of all, we have experienced founders. Our founders make good, quick decisions, which allows us to move at a pace that, well, I've never seen before in the rest of my career. And when you can move that quickly and make decisions, fail fast, capitalize on the things that are working really well, you can move faster than other companies and really disrupt. In an industry that's like 200 years old almost in Canada, you really do have, we've got some years to make up on it. I think there's that. I think the other thing is we do a really great job of sourcing incredibly talented, very smart people who are all driven by the same value and mission that we're all on. And so when all of you are doing that, it makes it easier to move in the same direction because you're motivated by the same things.
Okay, wonderful. So I'm pretty sure, like, I can speak to everybody who's listening here. Not many people enjoy calling their financial service provider. Like, it's not that it's a bad experience. It's just that you tend to call when something's broken, something's not working, when you need a resolution faster. And that experience sometimes is not the best, but from what I see in Neo, the experience is completely different. Like, the engagement to the resolution, to everything that the people engage with and how they deal with Neo Financial is different. Mm-hmm. How did that concept come into play? And if you could share with our audience, what is that concept?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. So one of the things that we thought from the very beginning is that, even my title isn't customer experience, it's experience in general. And so when you're a digital bank or a digital company at all, your experience has to start in the digital space. So we're really passionate about making sure that digital space is very unique and is something that people can't get anywhere else. That's where we're going to start with the disruption. And then that has to flow through to if something goes wrong, to your point. And when you start a company, things go wrong.
All the time.
Right? But we can recover quickly if the humans on the other end of whatever channel a customer chooses to join or to connect with us at is that experience feels like the same experience that you get in the digital product. So you get really fast and efficient, accurate information, quick to resolve, lots of empathy to get people to want to go back into the digital platform and continue their experience there.
Yeah, and you mentioned a very interesting point before. You said this is a 200-year-old industry in Canada. And I used to start my career in a bank. So I know we were always told we are not in the money business, but we are in the trust business. Mm-hmm. People have to give us their money, right? And Neo Financial being such a young company, how did you manage to get that trust so fast and grow 1.3 million plus customers in just 3 to 4 years?
Yeah, it's a great question, because you're right. Like I've been in banking a long time before coming to Neo, and I've always led my teams around the fact that you have to build trust, and you build trust through experience. It's very similar in Neo. We've built an exceptional experience in the platform, and that experience, that interacting with our app or on the website to do your financial banking services, it really does build trust, right? It's very fluid, it's very easy to navigate. Things are in a place where you can feel like you're building trust and experience and see things that are not where you would find them. Like you just wouldn't find that same experience in other banks. The other thing I always, even in my own experience of when I made the actual decision to join Neo, was after I'd, signed up, and onboarding our product was 6 minutes long. I could go from starting my profile to being able to spend on on a credit card at that point in 6 minutes.
And you don't even have to visit anywhere.
No bank. I can pick my own PIN number, and I could go online at a digital card. I could have tapped anywhere. I could be on Amazon, whatever I was buying, right? And then a physical card comes in the mail, but it doesn't come with a PIN number in a separate envelope.
No, so I don't have to call and get an appointment, make sure somebody's available for me.
That's right.
And I would drive there. I don't have to do all that.
We definitely don't make you go to a branch to do anything.
That's wonderful.
Right? Those services are at your disposal through chat or voice, whatever you prefer, if you need a human to help you with anything. But even like another personal story, I remember I was doing something, most of my transactions I do by tap. And then I was making one over $250, and I went, oh my gosh, I don't remember my PIN number. And my PIN, I was like, wait a second, it's in the app. I just had to sign on, my PIN number was right there, and I could carry on with my transaction.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. Just comment below if you guys came across that problem where you want to tap more than $250 and you forgot your PIN. That has happened to me more than I can't remember. Like, this always happens.
Right.
And luckily I have it saved on my phone on a secret, very high security zone where nobody can penetrate into that. But it's very interesting. And you were talking about the experience where the Neo Financial is all about experience.
Yeah.
That's the key thing. And you're leading that experience for Neo Financial. And something that I read online is that Neo's email game is a whole different level. Can you share what's behind that story?
Like with our channel of email?
The email responses through agents, that game is its next level. Like, if you can share what that is about?
Well, interestingly enough, there's no more humans on the end of email. Yeah, so one of the things that is really a lot of friction in banking is the email channel. Because as we mentioned, it's a trusting business, and you can't do anything for a customer, like personalized anyways, without really knowing that that customer is the right person. Yeah. So authentication is really, really important. If we don't authenticate people, people won't trust us, right? And so when I got there, email was like, everybody was coming in by email, and you really couldn't do a very good experience at all. And so we worked really hard to automate that system so that when, so then really customers come into a live agent in a different way. And they can either come in authenticated in either a voice or our chat, or they can authenticate with a human. But the great thing is that happens very flawlessly to a customer, and they don't have to worry about it.
So, like, I have this issue because, like, we established that you talk to your financial services provider when you want something fast, something's broken, something's not working. You're in a very vulnerable spot. And normally when you send out an email, you have to wait for a long time to get a reply. How do you solve that problem?
So that's really where the automation is. So, so you wait a few minutes potentially, and but it usually gets automated right back with something that's personalized to what you're asking for from a I think it's really similar to any of our real-time responses, whether that's in a help center and chatbots and stuff like that, where if somebody's asking a general question, we can, surface the right answer. We can give them the help center articles, those sort of things. Because I do really believe that we want to be able to help people in the moment. Like if you're really a digital company, anytime I've run into friction or something in the app or in the process, it's starting to deteriorate my trust with you as an organization. So the quicker, or what I refer to as real-time responses, that are real-time resolution, where other companies might call it self-service, it isn't really self-service. It really is, we need to solve this real time. Then for something more complicated, we can pass that through and then give them the option to phone us or to chat with a human. And then they might have more complexity.
Absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of quick, AI, which is a word that I think I've seen it even on everything, like even on paper, right? Like paper, like they call this AI paper or something like that. AI is in everything we do. So I'm thinking, so speaking of quickness, how do you see AI coming into your experience space in the near future?
Yeah, so we're already using it. I'm a real optimist around this new ecosystem we're working on, working into with AI being like really an agent for each of us. Like we can all access it. I've used it several times today to solve problems or get me information quickly. But we started really on the employees' experience and really trying to use it in a way that makes their job easier. When that can be in a matter of presenting information quicker, so we can surface knowledge articles and information that they would need for that interaction with a customer based on what the customer's saying. So that makes it quicker. We can summarize conversations now and make the summary more complete. So say we're going to, we've promised the customer an email. The email will go out with all the, the summary of the conversation, making a really nice, conclusion to that interaction, particularly if the customer needs to go do something, or even maybe more importantly, if we've committed to do something, and then they can remember, what the timeline on that resolution is. So we did that to start. Again, I tried a whole bunch of different things. Some didn't work. Some wasn't as effective as others. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of new technology.
Absolutely.
Some work, some doesn't.
Nope.
And then when we felt confident with that, then we did move to a customer facing. So our chat bot is Gen AI now.
Wow.
And really how it has its conversations is completely generated from our help center. So it doesn't go outside the guardrails. It's not giving you advice from other banks. It is answering the questions based on the Neo financial way. And we get great responses from customers. We get a high acceptance and satisfaction rate. And then also, but they always have the chance to come through to a human.
Right.
So we're not stopping that from happening. It goes back to that design philosophy of we really want real-time resolution. The quicker we can get resolution for our customer, the quicker they can go back, finish whatever banking they're working on, and get on with their life. We don't want banking to be a blocker to doing what you want to do with your friends and family.
Yeah. While creating a real-time resolution path, you still have the traditional way of contacting to an agent if they want to, because some people sometimes want to do that. And that's wonderful that having two-pronged strategy where you have both paths open. So before we wrap up, I have one question which I like to ask you. What would be a significant challenge that you have right now? You said you have your AI chatbots, you have your generative AI chatbot doing the emails, the automated, all that. But what is still hanging out there where you would want AI to solve for you today?
It's a really great question. I spend lots of hours thinking about this. And mostly because you have to be ahead of this, right? So I think the thing that AI does so well is it really eliminates the easy stuff, if I want to call it that.
Yeah.
And so in any type of customer facing business, the human knowledge is really important. And so you think about these kind of roles, they tend to be, there's not like a whole bunch of training. You don't get a degree in being a customer service representative. Instead, you have to learn it on the job, right? And so if you don't have a path where they can start with really simple interactions and get their confidence built and learn that, that interaction flow and how to create really good experience and trust and loyalty with the customer, and now everything's going to be much more complex because that simple stuff is either resolved, it just doesn't happen anymore, or it can be done in real-time resolution. That gap, how do I get these amazing people that love to deal with customers to that more complex place faster? And so I am really digging in on lots of learning and training, some great AI simulators that are coming down so you can really help them have those conversations 100 times before they have to have them with a customer. That's the thing I need to solve, and particularly in banking, because it's complex to begin with. The more sophisticated your customers get, like now we have a whole array of products. Customers can have mortgages and investments and their traditional cards and bank accounts, but you need somebody who can talk that whole wide spectrum of products and features and provide education around why they would use certain things. You need them to feel confident in that knowledge, and some training. Using AI to train people, I think, is for sure our next iteration.
Thank you very much, Shannon, for sharing all that insights into how Neo Financial is planning to disrupt the experience in financial services. So Shannon, how can our audience contact you if they want to find you?
Yeah, you can, probably the best way is through LinkedIn. So just look me up on LinkedIn and I'll respond to your message.
Thank you, Shannon, for being on the show. We'll probably invite you in the next wave. Thank you.
Thanks, Russell, for having me. This was really delightful. I really appreciate it.
We'll see you in the next wave. Thank you for joining us on the Infinite Waves podcast, where innovation never stops. Stay tuned for more insights and stories from visionary leaders, powered by Creative Innovations Lab. Until next time, let's keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.